Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AussieVerse live chat number 13. I am OmniBeau, joined by Mark Grodd Watson, Ryan Moore, and Simon Mad Spidey. How are we, boys?
Going well, mate. Going well.
Excellent.
Glad to be here.
If you are enjoying our content, please hit that like button and considering subscribing, sharing the love, because once we get to our 400 subscriber giveaway, we are going to be giving away a $100 Amazon gift card for you to buy whatever the hell you want. Check us out on Instagram at AussieVerse_Comx_collectors. And last but not least, all of our graphic design, thumbnails, and editing is done by A51 Designs. And if you're not sure who this gentleman is, you haven't seen him on our show, you haven't checked out his content, go check it out right here at Mad Spidey, because this young man has passed 300 and he's having a giveaway. And I believe even if you subscribe tonight, you can still get into that draw.
Yes, I have. I will be doing the drawing Aussie time. I haven't actually picked a time itself because I will be most likely doing it live. But I'll be doing it next Monday. So you still have a full week pretty much to enter.
You got a couple of really cool things to give away too.
Well, I brought them out just in case, you get the free plug. So
oh, look at those.
Wow.
That's mad. All for just being a subscriber.
that's exactly right. So obviously most people are going to be going after that.
Yeah.
Obviously being the older book, but you never know. Like as I said, it's going to be two separate prizes. First, we'll get the choice of one of the two, and then whoever I draw second will get the remaining slab. But in saying that, if you've seen the video where you enter, if you are a YouTube content creator and you do a comment and you do a video, you will get multiple entries, so you could possibly win both.
There you go. Cool. That is mad as, mate. Can't wait to see who wins that.
Guaranteed it'll be somewhere in the States or Canada or something like that. It's going to cost me an absolute fortune to send it over there, but I said worldwide, like us Aussies are very generous people. We're not like some of the US guys that pretty much say, oh, no, we're only going to do it US and stuff like that. I am more than happy to send it anywhere in the world.
That is awesome. That is
even
awesome.
Ukraine, if somebody in Ukraine wins. Whether it gets there or not's another question, but that might be a bit too soon.
Where you can see that you can win, but you're not in the right country.
Yeah.
Not with yours. All right, what have we got going on this week, guys? What's been happening in your respective neighbourhoods?
Who's going to go first?
Go, Mark.
All right. Yeah, not much. Just getting through the week. So I guess we'll start with some bit of news.
Yep.
All right. So first bit of news that I've got, Captain Carter is rumoured to get a live action series.
Captain Carter and her own series. Yeah, I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen eventually.
We'll get to that in a minute, Zelda Ball. Thanks for the question. Yeah, man, like I couldn't care, but I couldn't care about Miss Marvel either, but I'm going to watch that too. So,
I kind of liked it.
If you just look around at like TikTok and stuff, Captain Carter has got a bit of a following.
Yeah.
In a similar way to Wanda did after WandaVision. So this happening at this time does not surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, Captain Carter #1 was a very big spec pick. If you actually collect the floppies, like I know, some of you guys, like I know Mark collects floppies, but you guys are more omnibus and things like that. But I know, #1 was
get it up.
Yeah, it was a very big spec pick for quite a few weeks after #1 came out, and it's actually still rating quite high on eBay and the resellers and whatnot and things like that. So if you haven't got a copy, I'd say pick one up before it really skyrockets.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the Exiles book isn't the one that people are specking on.
Yeah, well, they're
so-
sort of I suppose they're just saying, like Captain Carter on what is the official, first appearance of her in comics, obviously. So
yeah.
But-
They always have that
Yeah.
caveat. don't they? It's not really the first appearance, but
we're not going to get into that debate because I hate that debate. I really do.
180 or 181?
Oh, don't start. Do not start.
how to trigger Mad Spidey. Have you guys? Do you guys know what Zelda's talking about? The new CGC labels? Because I don't.
Well, it's probably only because like I held those books up and they're both like CGC. But the only reason why I am giving away slabs is because I'm not a slab person, and I got these either through mystery boxes or through giveaway wins. I'm a raw collector, and that's part of the reason why I'm giving them back to the community because I'm not a slab collector. So,
So the new slabs. So let's say you send in the Spider-Man book, you get a slab that has Spider-Man on the top of the slab as well.
Oh, they've
It's got
been
a
doing
nice
that
little
for
picture of him.
they've been doing that for ages. Yeah, they've been doing that for probably last, I think, 3-4 years. They've been doing that. I think it costs you like an extra $10 US or $15 US or something to get one of those sort of things. I reckon they look cool. It's it's a little bit more personalized, I think. But as I said, I'm not a slab guy, so I'd end up just cracking it with a sledgehammer and getting the book out.
Yeah. Agreed.
Fair enough. Has anybody else been watching nothing else but freaking Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Because I've been watching that like way too much. And the reason why I get to that is because of Aquaman. How do you guys feel about the rumor that, she might be being cut from it 100%?
Yeah. So first rumor was like she only like had 10 minutes running time. She's at the start, she's in hospital, and then she appears at the end. So it seems like a pretty easy thing to cut out. It feels like they were expecting this for some reason.
I haven't watched any of the, like you say, the glimpses on the news. If I do get to watch the news every now and again, but that's about it. I couldn't really care less about it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, the court case in general, no, not too much. I mean, like, it's interesting. I mean, like, it's grabbed a lot of people. I can't believe it's so public, to be honest.
That's just how the US system is. It's very public over there. Whereas over here, no, that would not fly.
No.
No, could you imagine the OJ trial being like this?
Well, if the OJ trial were on now, you'd be seeing so many people make careers off of it on TikTok.
Yeah.
There'd be memes everywhere, and TikTok and bloody every other form of social media there is, and it'd be complete and utterly nuts. Like obviously everybody's seen the meme with Mirror, but it's got Johnny Depp's face.
Yeah.
Did you see that someone asked Bruce Campbell if so people were like petitioning for Bruce Campbell to replace Mirror, and then he replied and said something along the lines of, just send me the contract.
Bruce Campbell will play anything. Just give him a role, he'll do it.
What about these new trailer? What was it? Gotham Knights the other day. Did you see that one?
I've not seen. Wait, is it for a game or for a show?
No, it's for a new CW show. And I didn't realize it was CW all this time. And if I'd known that, I wouldn't have been excited about watching the show. But the trailer's just totally killed it for me.
Is it like a continuation of Titans, or it's a total separate entity?
Separate.
So the idea behind it is that like Batman has died, and for the show they've made up Batman's son, and he's going to team up with a bunch of villains to solve Batman's murder.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks very Buffy Vampire Slayer sort of thing. Get
Nothing
that sort
wrong
of
with
vibe.
Buffy.
Nothing wrong with Buffy back then.
Well, they're supposed to be redoing Buffy too, so.
Oh man, you can't read the Buffy.
I love Buffy, but it's just we can't keep trying to redo it, can we?
But if you think about it though, if they did it to today's time, and if Joss Whedon was still involved in it, it might actually be good.
If Joss Whedon was involved, then yeah, I'd definitely give it another go because I'm a huge Buffy fan, but I just can't see it without Joss Whedon's sense of writing, his personality in there.
Yeah. It's a little bit like, I know a little bit off topic, but it's a bit like when Eric Kripke left Supernatural. It sort of went downhill a little bit. Like I still followed it and I still watched it all right to the end. But it sort of lost a little bit after Kripke left, but then it picked up with the new writers and the new execs and all that sort of stuff. So you never know. You might like it.
Yeah. What's next on the agenda, boys?
Apparently, David Zaslav is reorganizing everything over at Warner Bros. And one of his big priorities is get Henry Cavill back as Superman.
Oh, really? But that's the thing, though. Like, he's never actually left as Superman officially. They just haven't done anything.
Yeah, like I actually like Henry Cavill as Superman.
The way I see it, he's a really good Superman who just had a really bad time.
Yeah, everything that I didn't like about the movie had nothing to do with him. I thought, he was. Yeah, you're right. He was a good Superman.
Like even Man of Steel, if you look at it as, this guy has been Superman for 2 days and is just trying to figure it out as all this crap is going on. Well, you understand the approach that they've taken a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, still though, it was a little too grim for my tastes, which is why I didn't love it. But I remember really enjoying it. I remember, liking it a lot. And it's a movie I'd watch again.
Yeah. Like everybody knows I'm not a DC guy, but I still watch all the movies and all the series and everything. Like even all the CW stuff, I'll still watch them all and things like that. But yeah, I think he played the part well. Might have been bad writing, but like it's something that I would rewatch. I wouldn't watch it, 10, 20 times, but I might watch it, another couple of times possibly. Yeah. I have them all on, DVD or Blu-ray or anything like that, but,
Yeah. You had something there, Mark?
I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm happy for it. Like, he seems like a great guy. He seems like a perfect fit for it. And then again, I'm not also disappointed if they move on because it's been a while now since the first Superman. I mean, but yeah. I would rather them try with Henry Cavill still because he wants to do it. And you can tell he wants to do it and he's got the passion for it and he's perfect for it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I can't look at him now without thinking of that character, though, from Geralt or whatever his name is, from The Witcher.
The Witcher?
Yeah, every time I
Geralt of Rivia. Yeah. I like the Witcher series. It was a bit confusing the first season.
I saw the second one.
Well, the first season, because I didn't know enough. I never played the games. I didn't know anything about the history. I knew basically what it was about, but I thought, he's basically like a monster slayer sort of thing. I'll enjoy this, but it was very convoluted with it was almost like a Game of Thrones, where there's too many characters, too many different stories, and you're trying to keep a track of all of them. Whereas season 2 was a little bit more mainstreamed, and it was a little bit easier to follow. So, but yeah, I still enjoyed the series.
A lot of the episodes happening out of order as well. Was pretty confusing.
Jumping backwards and forwards in time, and all that sort of stuff.
I had to Google it. I had to Google what's the time stream, and they said there's 3 different time streams. I'm going, well, they don't tell you that, and you're just like, what's that? And I do remember one thing that really pissed me off about The Witcher, the first season. You remember the time when they had the party and he's just there? It's like a wedding.
Yeah.
Arranged marriage. Like, what the fuck's he doing there? And he's just sitting there. involved him. He's just sitting there, just chilling. It's just like it's nothing. It just really annoyed me. It got on my nerves. And they just like they ask questions and then they involve him. They just go, "What do you think, Witcher?" And we go, "Who cares what he thinks? He's not from here."
Yeah, there was a lot of randomness in it, I think. But yeah, like that's why I said, like the second season was a bit more. I wouldn't say mainstream. It was a bit more fluid. Like it was a bit easier to follow, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was more characteristic and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to watch that. It brings me to my next topic of all these damn shows at the moment. I don't remember not being able to keep up, but at the moment I haven't started The Boys. I haven't started Obi-Wan. I've nearly finished Stranger Things. Then we've got Umbrella Academy coming. Miss Marvel this week. Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
There's just heaps at the moment.
Well, I've watched the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan. I've finished Stranger Things all until obviously the second part comes out.
Yeah.
And I've only watched the first episode of The Boys.
Right.
What are your thoughts on Obi-Wan?
I'm actually enjoying it. Like a lot of people are like the true Star Wars sort of fans and that are a bit oh, this is crap and why is he doing this and why he's doing that? Probably because I'm not a traditionalist for Star Wars. I'm actually enjoying it, especially the third episode. The third episode was a bit full on. But yeah, the first one was, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's a bit creepy. He's this old man in the desert, watching this kid, as if he's like some sort of, pedophile or something like that sort of thing. But, we understand why he's doing it. And we know why. We know who the kid is, obviously, and things like that. But, yeah, there was a little bit of randomness at the start as well. But yeah, I'm still enjoying the series. I'll be interested to see, because I think it's only going to be a 6 episode, I think.
Yeah,
only 6.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether they can, finish this all up, because the rumor is he's not coming back for any second season, and this is going to be a one-shot season.
I've heard the opposite recently, actually. It's been going around that there might actually be a second season. Okay,
so they might have changed it, because I know I'd heard of some interviews with him and things like that, and he originally said, I'm just here for this one, sort of season to sort of tie up the in-between timelines and things like that, because it's pretty much, I think, a 10-year span of time. Well, where, obviously that we don't know about, should I say. So hopefully it'll tie up a few loose ends and things like that, and it won't give us more questions than answers.
Yeah, exactly right. We don't want that.
I
will show off one thing, actually, that my partner, just because we saw it in a shop window and it was actually relatively cheap for these things, because I'm not one to buy statues very often. But look at that.
Is that one of the Diamond Select ones, or?
Actually, yeah.
Looks cool, man.
I was quite impressed with it. So yeah,
they're definitely the Diamond Select stuff's really good for people that want to buy statues but don't want to spend $1,000 or on a sideshow one. Most of them are 150, 200, 250 at the most.
Yeah.
Which is actually, and they look good.
You can definitely tell the difference in quality, but for someone of my lifestyle who I don't have the room for statues, and the statues that I do have, I've ended up ruining some point down the line. It's best for me to get these cheaper options, I think.
Yeah. and a lot of them look like really good. Like, I know a lot of the Spidey ones, they look real. Like, I love the Mysterio one. Yeah, it's a little bit plasticky.
Yeah.
But yeah, still a really nice looking statue. Like, obviously you're not going to go up to it and start, playing around with it and things like that. But it's a lot of them look really good and at a good price point for people on a budget.
Yeah. I just went in to check out the latest Funko Pops, and I didn't think I'd come out with a statue. Yeah, I was happy with that. All right, what next have we got, guys?
Well, if you're going to go reading, to pass me.
So I got some news there. Discovery CEO is growing tired of J.J. Abrams, who they invested $250 million deal on him to do projects in DC. And he hasn't done anything yet, apart from doing scripts. Nothing's gone ahead. So apparently, yeah, they're growing tired because he there's a script for Justice League Dark, and there's Zatanna, which has now been cancelled, and then I think there's a
Constantine project.
Constantine project, and they were going to do a Dead Man one, and they've just apparently he's just done nothing. Like they gave him all this money, and this was years ago. And now the new guys from Discovery have gone on to
just stick to the animated stuff.
Yeah. And so they've sort of just said, what are you doing? These new guys that from Discovery that come in just go, well, what are you doing, JJ? We paid you all this money and stuff like that. So I heard that's the rumor. So
well, that is funny. So I remember when that deal happened, actually, and I'd completely forgotten all about it. It was big news.
It was 2 years ago, wasn't it? At least,
yeah. Because you're right, he was
might have been. It would have been pre-COVID, probably. So probably close to 3.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've been
And apparently he tried to get
2.5.
one TV show off of the ground there, but because of the amount that it would cost to make, they said no.
Okay.
So he's taken it to Apple.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's got a hold of a few characters. And he's supposed to do something, and now they're just like, well, what have you done in 3 years? So,
Yeah.
Hey, if they keep him away from Star Wars, then all good.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What do you think about the Blue Beetle shots?
I didn't realize it was the kid from bloody from
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
The kid with the weird name.
Yeah.
Was it like Zolo or something like that?
Yeah,
but the suit looks good.
It was always one of these movies that I had in the background. I never really paid attention to it, but now that I can see something with it, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, because you look like even just the suit by itself looked really good, and obviously once you start adding the CGI of like the scarab and all that sort of stuff to it, or whatever like that, as long as the CGI is not really subpar, it should actually. I don't know obviously about the story because I'm not really a massive DC guy, but just from the suit, like that just looks brilliant. So
and by the looks of things, they'll probably touch up the eyes in CG as well and have it do the Spider-Man and Deadpool thing where they actually emote.
Yeah.
I reckon it looked really cool. So it got me a little bit excited about it because you got the basis of the suit done. So now, as you said, the CGI just adds to it. I don't have to do too much, but I reckon it looks pretty cool. Yeah, and also too, going off Blue Beetle too, it was news that Jason Sudeikis was going to be Ted Kord, but then they debunked that and said it was just false. And I was a bit disappointed because I think in a Ted Kord, Jason Sudeikis would be awesome.
Yeah, Mark's a Legion of Comics. Mark, he's a massive DC guy. Like he's a wealth of knowledge, especially when it comes to DC stuff.
Yeah, mate, we need to get you on the show one day and have a chat.
Yeah.
It's a bit early for you, isn't it, Mark?
What time would it be for you now?
He's is he East Coast or West Coast? I think he's East Coast.
Is it Atlanta? He's Georgia, isn't he?
He's Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, so that's East, sort of. Yeah. It's in the middle.
How long is this
Blue
Beetle?
Probably be almost 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's not even 6
Yeah, there we go.
How long has this new, I know he's not new anymore, but the new Blue Beetle been around? Because I only ever knew Ted Kord back from the Death of Superman days.
So Jaime Reyes debuted in Infinite Crisis.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yep, so 2006, around there.
Augusta, that's right.
Augusta, yeah. So Georgia, yeah, cool. Yeah, I read the Rebirth series of Jaime Reyes. It was pretty good.
I only
Very,
know him
very
from the cartoons, from like Young Justice and things like that, of course. So
So
Yeah.
it's very similar to a Spider-Man, kind of, because he is in high school. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah.
But obviously, Blue Beetle, like the character, even in like, because he was back in Golden Age days. Obviously, not
Yeah.
to that high tech sort of standard, but yeah, he was a Golden Age character, so he's been around a lot longer than what Spidey has.
Yeah, well, there was even Ted Causer. What do you call it? He was the second Blue Beetle, Ted Cord. So I forgot who the first one was, but yeah.
Mark will tell us in a second. Don't worry.
So, yeah.
So was all this technology of the Blue Beetle only in this latest iteration? Because I don't remember the one from when I grew up. He was just looked like he was in tights.
Yeah, Ted Cord couldn't get the scarab to work ever.
Oh.
So he was just mainly money and brains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then in the post-Infinite Crisis series for Blue Beetle, they reveal that the scarab is from space, and they're like sent to the planets by the Reach.
And it was never,
like
that,
this
was never that way before, was it?
Dan
No.
Garrett, thank you. Yes.
Told you he'd come up with the goods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Okay. There you go. See, I learned something today.
It's only DC, Mark. I don't care. I'm saying that to Mark in the chat, not to you, Mark.
And he's the first series. Yeah, right. Gotcha.
Yeah. Ted was tech smart and he had money. So, yeah.
Well, apart from the Black Adam trailer that comes out in apparently a couple of days, I've got nothing else to talk about. So, how excited are you guys for the Black Adam trailer?
That's The Rock. You can't not love The Rock. But I don't know hardly anything about Black Adam, so I'm actually excited to see it because I like going into these comic book movies, which I've said before, with no knowledge, because then I'm not biased or being a traditionalist or anything like that. I can just go into it with open eyes, enjoy it for what it is, or hate it for what it is.
Yep.
The thing about Dwayne Johnson and Black Adam, he's been trying to make this movie for years. It's been attached in some form or another since 2008 to make Black Adam.
Yeah.
So this has been a big passion project for him that a lot of time has gone into, and I suspect it will pay off.
Yeah, better. Because, I've been hearing him talk about it for over 10 years.
Yeah. I reckon I'm interested to see how he's gonna go. I'm really interested in like how Pierce Brosnan's gonna be like the Fate.
I only found out about that today.
Hodges as Hawkman, I reckon it's going to be really sweet. Yeah, I'm interested in what the plot's going to be. To be honest, that's all I'm caring about because I think they've got enough talent in the acting part.
And as per usual, toy manufacturers, they ruin it for a lot of people. I saw the lineup of the new Pops and went, okay, so Dr. Fate's going to be in it and this person's going to be in it. And I'm like, can't you just release it on the same day or the same week instead of releasing it like 6 months or 12 months before the movie even comes out? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, the movie was meant to be out around now.
That's
about a month, but they pushed it back.
They never got the merchandise.
But I suppose in saying that too, like they released the Marvel Legends figures for Doctor Strange, and some of those characters were actually not in the movie.
Are you kidding?
Well, there was supposed to be, like, I don't know much about him, but there was supposed to be like a villain called Display.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never heard of him. And because that book was like a Marvel team up book with, I think, Man-Thing and Spider-Man was his first appearance. And that book just skyrocketed. It went from like a $1 bin book to like $100, $200 book just because of that.
Wow.
And they're also supposed to bring in Sleepwalker.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was hinted at because the Marvel Legends figures released it at the same time with the Doctor Strange ones. And they're like, these two characters are going to be in it, and neither of them were in there, unless there was
Wow.
some little tiny Easter egg or something that says they might come later. But
It'd be so
Well, the thing about Marvel Legends is that when they do these movie waves, they do like a mix. So they'll give you like 3 or 4 movie characters and then a couple comic book characters as well.
yeah,
So it's not really the most
try
reliable
and throw
thing
you
to
off.
trust.
Yeah.
But a lot of people took it that way, though. They're like, okay, these characters are going to be in it, and there was rumors of these two characters, specifically being in it as well. And then obviously, no.
Those 3 Sleepwalker fans must be so pissed off.
A Sleepwalker, I classify him as a Spidey character, so he's all right in my book.
Yeah, it's funny, but the first time I ever heard of Sleepwalker was in a Spidey book.
What it would have been in probably the mid '90s, in probably Mark Bagley's sort of run, where they started having all the team ups with like the New Warriors and with Punisher and Moon Knight and all that sort of stuff. He was amongst all that as well.
Yeah. I was even surprised he came back recently in actually, not recently anymore, Avengers No Surrender, which I know you probably don't know, Simon, but that was an event that happened, 3 years ago now, Ryan?
Longer than that.
Longer? See, my timeline's
2017.
Yeah, well, there you go. But yeah, Sleepwalker came back there and had a mini series for like 5 issues.
I suppose if they can bring back Darkhawk, they can bring back anybody.
Yeah.
I read that new Darkhawk series. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, a lot of people actually enjoyed it, surprisingly enough. I think I bought the first issue just for spec reasons, but and just for and because it looked cool. Like he's always been a cool looking character, regardless of whether you think he's just a goof factor or what.
Yeah, doesn't seem like there's
will show up in a movie at some point anyway.
Well, if they do a Nova movie, guaranteed Darkhawk will probably pop up in that.
Just for the cool factor, wouldn't it? I mean, like, imagine doing that suit right.
Yeah.
And, you can fly. First time I've ever read Darkhawk, and I actually liked it. So it took me a bit. But, yeah, it's obviously a new Darkhawk, so it's a younger character. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Because a Nova movie has been rumoured. But whether it's going to be, Rich Rider, the original one, or whether it's going to be the new Kitty version, Sam Alexander, I think it is.
Sam Alexander. Give me that Nova. That
I want the classic. I'd prefer the classic Nova.
Richard Rider, mate, all the way. Yeah, man. I never gave a shit about Nova or Darkhawk until Annihilation. Darkhawk has a really good story in there. It teaches you all about the fraternity of raptors and all these other storylines that people forget about with Darkhawk that make him really cool. Actually, I do have one other thing here, and that is they're still casting for that Madam Web movie. I just don't believe it. I don't believe they're plotting ahead with this, man. Like,
this wasn't supposed to be like Dakota Johnson or something like that as Madam Web, and I'm like, Madam Web is like some, like Aunt May looking, old, bat in a big chair and like that. It's like, how can they do somebody so young? Unless they're going to like do full prosthetics and stuff. But
I reckon they're going to have her play the Julia Carpenter version of Madam Web.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe they're thinking that it just might take a while to produce, and by the time it happens, Dakota Johnson's going to be old. Get through the production. So they get the casting now, and they're just going, well, this is going to take a while.
Yeah, it's called What If, Mark.
I got a debate. So are you guys horror movie fans?
Not really.
I was when I was younger.
Right.
So I don't watch as much now.
All right. So this might tie into that a bit. So I am going to ask, what do you think is the most successful horror movie franchise at the moment? And obviously, what's your favorite? But obviously now, because it's different to what 20 years ago, you would almost say Nightmare on Elm Street's been the most successful. But now Halloween's kept on going. Texas Chainsaw Massacre's brought out a few more. In your opinions, each one of you, what do you think's been the most successful, and what would be one you've enjoyed the most over the time?
Oh, I'm gonna throw a curveball here, and I'm gonna go with the Conjuring franchise.
Conjuring franchise, nice.
I have a feeling that one is the most successful since all those movies seem to make $1 billion.
Right.
It's probably a little unfair because a lot of the newer stuff has got, obviously, the more technology. A lot of people are going to watch it purely for that sort of factor. And obviously, there's a lot more money involved now as well with, CGI. Obviously, box offices, like, back then you might have been paying $2 or $5 or whatever to get into the movies. Now you're paying $20, $30. So there's a lot more of a consideration. Like, obviously, number-wise, Friday the 13th, because of the span of movies. They started in what? I think it was like 79 or 80 or something like that. And they've done, I don't know how many movies now. I've lost count.
I think it's 13, 14 all up, I think.
Yeah, but they've done, obviously, a couple of, redos and things like that as well. The same with Halloween. Like, they're doing all these redos now, or rehashes, or whatever you want to call it. Nightmare on Elm Street had some decent actors go through it, whereas a lot of the other movies had pretty much just B and C lister sort of types. But yeah, a lot of the newer stuff, like, I hate to say it, but yeah, like the Paranormal Activity crap. Not that I've ever watched any of that shit. That actually did quite well, even though it was more just, modern Blair Witch crap. Saw, obviously, like what Mark said in the comments, that did really well, even though it was only, I think, 4 or 5 movies, possibly. So there's a lot of factors. I was always a Nightmare on Elm Street guy, but I did love a lot of the old. I loved Halloween. I loved Friday the 13th. The missus will hate me say this, but I actually like Jeepers Creepers, even though it was only, a couple of movies.
I like Jeepers Creepers.
The first one was really good. The other ones went a bit stupid, but I dragged her early on to see that at the movies, and she still will not let me live that down.
There's a new one of that, the Jeepers Creepers. I saw it on Binge. I was going, shit, I could watch that.
The worst.
There's a new Candyman too, which I haven't seen yet.
Candyman was better than the latest Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers is just something no one needs to see. And I love Jeepers Creepers, but that third one was just horrible.
And then that's the thing. Like, as I said, there's so many factors. You're talking a lot of like dollars back then opposed to dollars today, technology then to today, and things like that.
I reckon Scream. To answer your question. Scream.
Yep.
But would you classify Scream as a horror movie, though?
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about. He's asked how. What was the question? How much? The biggest one.
Franchise. What do you think's been the most successful? And what do you think's been the best? But yeah, successful wise. But yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant from just a financial standpoint, because I reckon Scream's made a lot of money over all them. But successful, it'd have to be the ones. It'd have to be the ones with the characters: Freddy, Jason, Michael. Because they're the ones that'll just live forever.
That's right. Well,
I would say that Scream has managed to be pretty successful because Ghostface is a pretty iconic thing.
Yeah, and I know what you did last summer didn't really quite kick off as the way the Ghostface did. But I agree with what Mark said. Like, at the moment, it is Halloween. Even though me personally, I thought Halloween is probably, I put Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th as enjoyment better for me. And there's also Chucky. So there's another one. And that's been sort of rebirthed. So
that went a bit off the rails, though, like after about the second or the third one. It went a bit off the rails.
It did. The TV show was really good, which I can't believe.
Well, that's right. And this is the conversation. This is fanfare we're talking about. We can't, I guess, dollars, because there's not as many dollars going into horror movies anymore. So, what do we reckon the fans would be gravitating more towards now in the horror movie? I used to be like, I liked all the remakes of Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. And back in the day, that second one that has Reese Witherspoon and Matthew McConaughey, that was horrible. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Was that the Dennis Hopper one?
Oh, maybe it was the third one. Then Reese Witherspoon and McConaughey.
I'm pretty sure it was the second one that was banned in a lot of countries. Was not actually allowed to be seen in a lot of countries because of certain aspects of. Which I think might have been the Dennis Hopper one, but I'm not quite sure.
Fourth one.
That was the fourth one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the second one. Yeah, it was banned in a lot of countries because of like the violence in it and things like that. Because the first one, even though like it had its moments, was more of the suspense. Yeah, it was the second one Dennis Hopper was in. It was more of the suspense sort of thing than the actual, chainsaw hacking the crapper out of people.
It was more about the family and stuff like that, wasn't it? The Dennis Hopper one and stuff like that. So
yeah, so I haven't watched the second one, and I haven't watched any of them in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been a long,
there's too much. There's too much bloody superhero stuff getting in the way.
Yeah. But man, they're still out there, so they're still making Halloweens, and they're obviously still making Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So there's something there.
They haven't really made any more Freddy movies, though, which is very surprising.
Well, that remake was a horrible one. So
yeah,
I think the last one I watched was The New Nightmare, and that was it. So that was a long time ago.
That was okay.
Yeah, I liked The New Nightmare. I reckon it was good.
But, obviously, a Wes Craven one, so the same as Scream. So
now, have you guys actually, have you all watched Stranger Things yet, or you're not going to? Or I know Barry said he's watched it, but
I only just started watching season 1 yesterday.
Whoa!
Because I was going to say we're talking about horror movies, and there's a familiar face that turns up in the fourth. So I won't give anything away, but a familiar face turns up.
They did announce it a few months ago, though, and say.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. Yes, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of better that way if you don't know.
Yeah.
I think.
I walked in and went, I know that guy.
Yeah. What was your favorite horror movie, Ryan? Because I know it's not your normal genre that you gravitate towards.
To be honest, I don't watch many horror movies. Like the only one I've really seen is The Conjuring.
Yep.
Fair enough. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't actually mind watching the Nun one, because that was one of the Conjuring ones, wasn't it? Yeah, I haven't seen any of them, to be perfectly honest, but I wouldn't mind seeing that Nun one. She scares the crap out of me.
I just can't wait. I can't wait for this new Predator movie, and I'm hoping it's really good.
Prey.
Yeah.
It's not coming out in cinemas though, is it? It's just Hulu, isn't it?
Well, I thought it was just Hulu. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's cinemas as well.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know the new Aliens one coming out next year is going to be straight to whatever streaming service it's on.
Seems to be almost the norm now.
Yeah.
Alien and Predator, I don't think they've ever known what to do with them since like maybe the late 80s, 90s.
Especially Predator, yeah.
Especially Predator. Yeah.
I only really like the first two movies. A lot of people don't like the second one. I love the second one with Danny Glover in it.
Oh, yeah. Love the second one, mate. I love it.
My favourite is the third one, Predators. But they're on another planet.
That was Adrian Brody in it.
Yeah. I loved that one, man. That was such a good Predator movie, And that was the first remake that they've done where I wanted a sequel, and they never did.
Yeah. Well, they got a good cast. Lawrence Fishburne. Obviously, we said Adrian Brody, and Rodriguez is a pretty developed and good director and writer.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed because when I heard Shane Black did Predator, I was pretty excited about it because that's Hawkins in the first Predator movie.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit disappointing. So
I've got to admit, I still enjoyed it though.
I actually just rewatched it last week because I saw it on Disney Plus. I can still watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
It's
think
the
I've
best.
actually seen the later ones. I think I've only seen. Yeah, obviously I saw the crossover one. That was a bit abysmal.
Yeah, yeah. Just watch.
But I never
Just-
actually saw like Predators or any of
watch,
those
watch
newer ones.
Predators and tell me what you think, Simon.
Mm.
Because I thought that was a really good one.
Well, they went back to the jungle, so it just works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
And it works well because all these criminals are just waking up on a planet going, where the F am I? And they don't realise and being hunted. Bang.
Because
Good
I
idea.
actually remember, and surprisingly enough, I actually still have it in the collection. I thought I'd gotten rid of all my DC books. But I have the 3-part mini series of Batman versus Predator that was done, and I actually really enjoyed. And I actually have read that. That was probably the last thing I read in probably the 90s or whatever it was. But no, that was really good. It was a bit far fetched with Batman beating him with a baseball bat at the end, but
But
But it was still a good series, and it was really like it was one of the Kubert brothers, I think, that drew it as well. So the art was brilliant and dark and menacing, and it was it was actually a good little mini series.
I got Justice League versus Predator, and it's like just it's like a one-shot prestige. It's not a comic, but it's not a trade.
So like a graphic novel, pretty much.
Yeah. But still smaller than a graphic novel too, I would imagine. But yeah.
That would have been cool, like the Justice League going through the jungle and he's up there spying on him and he's heat vision. That would have been cool.
I wish they'd do more of like these crossovers, like they did back in the day, like Archie. meets
The
Punisher.
amalgam stuff.
No, not amalgam. Amalgam's just like DC versus Marvel, stuff like that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Dark Claw.
No. And Lobo the Duck.
Yep. So I had one question as well to put out there to all ears. So let's just say you won a competition, and yay! But and you get the opportunity to write a mini series for DC and Marvel or both, and you get to pick a character. And who are you going to pick? And I will exclude. You can't go Spider-Man, and you cannot go Batman. So who would you like to write? If the publishers just go, you can pick any character. Who are you going to pick? But also keep in mind, the fact is, are you going to be able to write them, not just because it's a cool character? Is it going to be easier to write somebody, or is it more your personality to write this other person? What do you think? I'll start with you, Bo.
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to go past the choices that I've already made. And with Marvel, I'd go a guy that has the mini-series. He can't seem to have his own book, but I'm fascinated with, and that's the Sentry. I reckon I could do a good little psycho storyline with that. And on the flip side, which is very similar actually, if you think about it, for DC, I'll do a mini series on Scarface, the Mad Hatter. Oh wait, that's Scarface. Sorry, I always get him and the Mad Hatter's name mixed up. But dummy.
Ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist. That's who I was trying to think of.
Mm-hmm.
Two people with split personalities.
Yep.
So he's loving the obscure stuff.
Yeah.
Mad Spidey, who do you reckon?
Yeah, so I'd be too inclined to go for favorites. Like obviously stick away from the Spider-Man universe altogether. But it'd have to be either Ghost Rider or Punisher.
Yeah.
One of those two. If I was going Marvel, if I was going DC, Constantine or Swamp Thing.
Nice. Ryan?
DC, I think I got to go with do a Kid Flash mini.
That'd be cool.
Plus, they don't really do much with the new Kid Flash, so might as well give him something to do. And he'd be a very easy character to write. Pretty much a blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, give me the X-Men.
Oh,
There's
that's
a
a big
lot to play with
responsibility.
in the sandbox for the X-Men.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it is Hickman.
Well, what
Mm,
if you had to narrow it down to an X-Men character, though?
mm.
Magneto. Easily Magneto.
Yep.
Choice.
Nice. Nice.
Good question, Mark.
Yeah.
Before we come back with one more and wrap up the show, I guess, let's have a word from our sponsor.
This show is sponsored by the Comx shop. Check out comx.cx for all things Comx and find out what Comx is all about. Then head over to comx.shop to pick up a variety of Australian comics from multiple creators and publishers, all for one flat postage rate. We hope you enjoy the show.
Beauty. All right.
That sounded very Val Morgan sort of, in the cinema sort of style voicing.
Well, it's funny you should say that because the guy that does the voiceover, his name is Morgan.
It's my last name. It's my last name too.
Oh, yeah. It's a small world after all.
That's right.
All right, Mark, you got one more for us before we wrap it up?
Actually, I didn't. No.
You didn't.
Oh, come
I've
on,
got
Mark.
one for
We're,
you.
we're
I've got
relying
one.
on you here.
You let me down, Mark. What about you, Ryan?
All right.
I didn't think one movie to watch right now. What would it be?
What?
One
A
movie to watch
movie?
right now. What would it
Interstellar.
be? And stuff. Top of your head.
The Mask.
Mask.
It's why if you could say like what I have to choose from, it'd be a little bit hard to sort of pick something.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's about half of it.
All right. I got another one too. Like 3 people at dinner. Who would you like to have? 3 people at dinner with to have dinner with.
Do we
Alive,
choose?
dead, or all of the above?
Hey.
Alive, dead, or all of the above?
What do you reckon's more interesting? Should we go the dead as well?
I'd say across board.
All right. Go for it. Who's going first?
So 3 people. Stan Lee would have to be one. I'm going to go 2 comic and one other. So I'll go Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Bruce Lee.
Nice one.
Right.
Jack Kirby, Kurt Cobain, Heath Ledger.
Ooh.
Jeez. All right. Okay.
I'm waiting for him to say like Scarlett Johansson, Elizabeth Olsen, like all the hotties.
Bon Jovi, Chester from Linkin Park, and Stan Lee. There you go. They're the 3 that I picked.
I like the Chester one.
Yeah.
Chester Bennington.
Yeah. Star. I would go Ryan Reynolds.
He'd be funny entertainment at least.
I'd go Dennis Rodman.
Oh, God.
And then I'd go Elvis.
Wow. Imagine that dinner table. Fuck me.
Mm.
Imagine Dennis Rodman and Elvis getting into a conversation.
Yeah.
I reckon they'd both get on the sauce and it'd be absolutely hilarious.
Well, it could be. And Ryan Reynolds will be drinking his own gin, making smart ass comments.
I like that, actually. That was, that was a good question to have actually at a dinner table, not just 3 people you'd want to meet.
Yeah.
All right, I've got one for everybody then. We might as well keep this going till at least the hour mark. It's probably been asked before, but I'll do it anyway because I know I've done it with a lot of the US guys. If you only had to read, like we're talking floppies here, we're not talking about omnis. If you only had to read one title, now that's title. Like obviously Batman has got a lot, Spider-Man's got a lot. If you only had to read one title for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, God damn.
Regardless of writers or artists or anything, you had to stick to one particular title.
Yeah, well, it's going to be
X-Men.
Amazing Spider-Man. X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep.
Well,
I would go
we all know mine would be amazing, so that's easy.
Mine would be
What was yours, Ryan?
X-Men. Very easy
So,
pick.
Are they still doing? Is it still Uncanny now, or is it just called X-Men now?
Right now, it's adjectiveless.
Oh, okay. So we'll just go X-Men.
Actually, I'll change mine to Justice League Dark because then I get more characters. Yeah.
It's probably, if I had to ever get into anything properly with DC, I think Justice League Dark would definitely be a way to go. I like those sort of darker anti-hero type. You know, obviously I mentioned Ghost Rider and Punisher and things like that. So yeah, and I've loved the animated movies.
Yeah, it's very similar to Midnight Suns, isn't it? So
yeah, very much so. Which I'm still hoping they bring that out.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that Hellstrom show. Actually, did anybody ever watch that?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I keep meaning to watch it.
It's a little. They give you a little bit of back history.
Yeah.
But nothing, like, you don't sort of get into too much of his powers or anything, unfortunately. They probably got cancelled before they could really get into it, but it was dark. The acting was good, the scenery was good, the music was good. I actually wish they had kept going with it and it hadn't got cancelled, but probably lesser known, obviously, so that's probably why it didn't do too well. But it wasn't too bad.
I think regardless of whether it did well or not, wouldn't have mattered. It was just the complete wrong time. From memory, they actually wanted to cancel it before it even aired, but they'd made most of it. So they went, screw it, we'll at least put it on still.
Well, it was a bit like the Constantine CW series, because they got signed for a whole entire 22 episode series, got to 13 and just gone, bam, closed set, that's it, we're done, you're not doing any more. So it was just left on a cliffhanger. Yeah. And the only time we've had him now is in Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow, yeah. I really liked that
series. The series was good. The first 13 episodes was great.
I thought it was great, yeah. You're right. And look, Swamp Thing was the same, but that was a cash issue. They didn't pay Carolina they filmed it in. They didn't pay taxes, so they had to end it.
That was really well done, actually. That series was really good. I haven't bought the first season.
Yeah, 100%. It was really good. See, that's why CW, because they predominantly film in Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have to pay taxes there, so that's why they do it. So, and they can save a bit of money. I lived in Vancouver for a couple of years, and they were doing Supernatural there for a bit as well. So,
well, they did pretty much the entire series up there. All 15 seasons of it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They did. What's it called? It's oh geez, I can't even think of it now. But the new Robert Pattinson, what he used to be, Twilight. They did Twilight in Vancouver when I was there because I was a removalist and we moved their piano. So in one of the movies, so yeah, we moved a few things off the set to another location. But
yeah, I've still got to watch that, Mark. I've got season 2 right here.
Oh, nice. It's not as good as the first one, but I still liked it. I reckon
a lot of people like the second one better than the first season. I've had a lot of rave reviews about the second season being better.
I can see it. I can definitely see it because Eclipso's amazing in it. Yeah, I reckon it's a good series. Yep, nice.
Yeah, I was able. Thank you, Captain Sorrow, for securing me the Steelbook.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is all she wraps.
Nice.
Everybody, please go check out Mad Spidey on YouTube and get some goods. This has been AussieVerse. Really appreciate you all joining us. Especially you, Simon. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks for having me.
We will see you next Monday for the next live chat, plus more videos coming out Thursdays and whatever other day that we can free. As usual, AussieVerse is for life.